Right, hello then guys. I'm just having a... Oh, sorry. I keep forgetting that I'm probably going to sound really, really loud on that mic. I really need to sort something out, because whenever I lean in, I always say this, I'm probably really loud on that mic. Right, so we've got Sean in, and we've got Corey. I'm just going to read out this from Sean, because I was reading this out a minute ago before I went live. Sean says, it's been 2 weeks tomorrow. I sent clothing to FBA in Wales. Still isn't live yet, and I did labels myself. All 16 items say complete, but nothing showing up in my FBA. Only merchant showing items at home. And I've sent games up to Coventry. Said they arrived and complete, but nothing showing. Now says 0 received. Are they bringing me games back? I labelled everything correctly. Don't know what's happening. I really don't know. Did they... I'm assuming previously, before they were saying 0 received, they had said on the, obviously the FBA shipment, that it was completely received. Is that what they said beforehand? Because it seems to me maybe... I don't know, but I've never had anything like that before. But what I have had is... on your first comment, I have had things actually not get to the warehouse for ages, like, or they've maybe they've got like semi-checked in, so they've arrived at the warehouse, but they've just not got checked in for ages. You know, this time of year, October, November, December, we're going to see a lot of that. We're going to see a lot of delays, so there could be something to that as well. Can you add me as a spanner? I can. Certainly can. One sec. Add moderator. Brilliant. Right then. Why is there someone in the chat? Is there already someone in the chat who's a bloody spammer or something? Bloody hell. God, I can't believe it. Surely not. There's not someone in there already. Anyway, I've not seen anyone, but hey guys, Death by Glamour says Richard Payne's in there, RJ's in there, who I just made a spammer. A spanner. So yeah, Sean, as I was saying, I really don't know. I can only say that, you know, expect delays this time of year. You know, as for the other stuff you're explaining, I've not had any of that myself. I've not had any of the issues like that, so I really don't know. But generally, once a shipment gets, you know, sent to the warehouse and it's actually arrived at the warehouse, it should get checked in. Obviously, all the items will be marked as received, and then it should be completed, and that should be the end of it, and then they should be selling. But it seems like there's something a little bit dodgy going on there, like, you know, something's not, they've like kind of, maybe what's happened is they've not fully received it because maybe there was a problem, so then it'll go to the problem solving area, and obviously that'll then take a few more days to process. So yeah, I really don't know on that, I apologise. But yeah, I've not had anything like that. Anyway, we've got quite a few people in. We've got Forge Your Own Path now. Sean says, hey Corey, and everyone else. Hoping Ad says Amazon is busy this time of year, so I don't worry about my stock. Oh, is the chat chat must be 30 seconds behind me or something? I never realised that. But yeah. So as I say, it's just, don't worry about it. It's probably just something like that. But as I say, it could be something different. It might be, as I mentioned, the fact that it's just been sent over to the problem-solving area. Essentially, when the shipments come in, obviously, they're all booked in and they're all, you know, all the void fills getting pulled out of them and the items are getting scanned in. And if one of the barcodes, like, is invalid or something, or maybe you've sent in, I'm not saying you have sent in, you know, the wrong amount of quantity, but say someone, just taking an example, say, for example, I sent in 2 quantity, and I actually put on the FBA shipment that I'm only sending in 1, then what those products will, I don't know whether it's a whole shipment or whether it's just that product that will then be cast over to the problem solving area, and then they'll have a look into it, and then obviously we may find out that it's my mistake or your mistake or whatever, and then they can resolve that, and then, you know, there might be slightly further delays, or if it's a mistake at their end, I don't know, with maybe one of the barcodes or something, I don't know, but yeah. And obviously, if something gets checked in and it's damaged and all that, then that's gonna affect it. So you never know. It could be something like that. It could be the damage in transit, and that's maybe affecting, you know, the speed in which they're actually, you know, what I'm trying to say, receiving your items. So I don't know. There's loads of different factors with Amazon, but I'm no expert on Amazon. I've been doing it quite a while, and I've been doing it, I think, yeah, it'll be 3 years in January. I've been doing FBA. I've come across quite a few problems. I've sent in items with the wrong barcode labels on. I've sent in items with, as I described, too many quantity that I've actually put down just by mistake, obviously. And they've always got solved. They've always been checked in. And then obviously you've got your unfulfillable inventory and stuff like that is a separate matter. You know, maybe it's been damaged at the warehouse and stuff, and obviously you need to make sure that you're keeping up with your unfulfillable stuff, getting it sent back to you or whatever. And then I do also, another little point with Amazon while we're on the subject, is I tick the box for auto returns on long-term storage, so that then I don't get charged for long-term storage fees. Oh, I watched your video, Corey. You've just said I filmed a video, edited it, packed and shipped, cleaned, photographed, and listed stock. Now for time for a break. Yeah, I watched your video, your vlog. That was really good. I was really impressed by that little vlog. It was a nice little vlog, that. Yeah, right. I'll just go up. Question for ads. Do you think Q4 has changed this year? No, for God's sake. Right. No. You know what? I will. You know what? I will talk about this a little bit because I want to talk about this. You know, a lot of people have said throughout this year, I don't know whether George will agree with me on this because he seems to be doing really, really well, along with, you know, a bunch of other people as well. But this year, sales on eBay, not necessarily Amazon because I've not really been doing Amazon as much this year, but sales on eBay have been really like up and down, you know, like one day's brilliant, next day's poor. There's been times, maybe I think it was maybe around April, May time, I think it was, where sales really dipped and a lot of people saw a pretty bad dip in sales. And it seems to me like this year, the whole sales patterns that we all kind of got to grips with in 2015, 2016, 2017, they've been changed a little bit. Now, I don't know whether that's due to the, you know, more people going on Facebook Marketplace and all the rest of it, but the sales patterns seem to me, I may have talked about this before, so I apologise if I have, I'm just thinking I might have done actually, but they seem to have changed a bit. So I'm a little bit concerned for Q4 on whether it's going to have the same level of price increase, you know, price inflation on different items, and also whether it's actually going to have the same level of vigor of people buying. So I don't know, it might just be a you know, a stupid little kind of niggle that I've got in the back of my brain. It might not mean anything, but yeah, you know, I know that question is meant as a joke because I know that Sib K always puts it in there, but to be honest, I don't know. I'm getting a bit worried. In January, I'll either say no, it's not changed, or yes, it has changed, depending on my sales and the patterns and all that sort of stuff. And also, I've got to factor in that I've probably got a little bit less stock this year for Amazon compared to last year, but I'm also going to be trying to source more stock over October and November anyway to keep up with that. So yeah, I've got to factor that in to my sales and stuff, but I just don't know. I'm just a bit, I'm like that. I'm really not sure. Anyway, hope you're okay. Just a quick hello. Hi there, Aid. Amazon are a nightmare, full stop. Back of house is shocking. I've also had trouble with the customer service this week. They basically, I couldn't download my daily, what is it called? Date range reports. I'm saying daily, but it's date range reports. I couldn't download them. So I was kind of annoyed at that, and I emailed customer service and didn't get a response for like 3 days, and then they told me in the response, you need to wait another 72 hours for our technicians or whatever to solve the issue. Now, I don't know anything about programming or, you know, the back end of a website and HTML and stuff. I know the tiniest little bit. I really don't know hardly anything. But I'm pretty sure a site like Amazon's, surely they've got like hundreds, or maybe not hundreds, but at least tens of people working on that site. I'm talking coders, I'm talking maintenance people, you know, HTML people, and all, well, that's programmers, isn't it? But you know what I mean, like they've got loads of people, so why the hell they don't have the capacity to fix an issue like that, because it doesn't seem to be... Oh, did I even say what the issue was? Well, I don't know whether I fully explained what the issue was, so I'll just quickly say that. But the date range reports, when you basically click to, you know, kind of pull one of them up, usually they'll come through like within a few seconds or a few minutes, but it kept saying that in progress, and then I kept refreshing it and it wouldn't do anything, so it was a problem with that. Anyway, why they can't get that fixed, you know, in... Okay, maybe it might take 24 hours. I mean, really, I was expecting it done within a couple of hours or something. It doesn't seem like a major issue. Now, they did say on the email, it seems like the majority of the sellers are having this issue. But let's say, you know, there's thousands of sellers on Amazon, which there is, probably hundreds of thousands, I don't know. But let's say there's that amount of sellers. Still, 6 days is quite a long time to fix that issue. You know, it seems quite a long time, really. But maybe it's just me. I don't know anything about programming or anything, so I don't know. Maybe it does take that long. But anyway, so I finally got my date range report. So obviously I use the date range reports to pull up a summary report of my previous month, and then I can do my tax based on that, or I can do my profit and loss account based on that. So yeah, that was a bit of an issue, yeah. But I have to say, I've had okay experience with Amazon in the past, customer service and stuff, but yeah, just wasn't very good this time. I have to say eBay is better. However, here we go, coming on to the whole eBay customer service. However, I've noticed that last week when I was trying to get the live chat up, they've now done away with the live chat. Now, I don't like being on the phone due to my anxiety. I get very, very stirred up. The last 3 times I was on the phone, I ended up having to ring up eBay because it was a pretty serious issue and I couldn't deal with it through live chat. And there was a serious issue with PayPal. I couldn't deal with that through... Well, I don't even think PayPal have a live chat. I'm not sure. But couldn't deal with that anyway through any other means than just calling them. And I had a horrendous time on the phone. I was really feeling anxious. So I like the live chat, you know. And I don't like emailing them because I like that instantaneous reply, you know. So I'm really annoyed that I can't find the live chat on the help sheets of... They've moved it all around and I can't seem to find the live chat. Maybe it is still there, but I can't find it. So I'm a bit annoyed at that because I like the live chat. I always seem to have good success on the Hermes live chat. I've used that probably in the last month. Well, the last 2 months I've used it 2 or 3 times, and I do like that. They seem to be on the ball with that Hermes live chat. The odd person you get up might not quite understand what you're trying to relay to them, but most people on that Hermes live chat seem to be good. But I do like the live chats because they're nice, and also on the phone you can be waiting as well. Aside from my issues with anxiety, the wait time on the phone can sometimes be more. Generally, I found with the live chats, it's pretty quick. However, saying that on Hermes live chat the other week, I was waiting about 20 minutes or so. So, yeah, it's a kind of give and take situation. You know, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But, yeah. I am probably going to be stopping Amazon at some point in the future. I've been very open about this for, I don't know, what, a year? 18 months now? I kept saying to people, look, I don't think I'm going to be selling Lego next Q4. I don't think I'm going to be selling DVDs next Q4 because to me, Amazon's just going to restrict them off. Well, obviously a few weeks back, what have I always been saying? I don't like... Okay, no, let me rephrase that. I love being right. I'm not gonna beat around the bush. I bloody love being right. And I said it for bloody 18 months and I was like, you know, the restrictions are going to come in, and what happened a few weeks ago, DVDs, or maybe just new DVDs, I'm not sure, got restricted off, and now Lego, I swear, that's not going to be far off. I might be alright, because I do feel like I've kind of got grandfathered into Lego. I might be alright, and if so, I'll continue selling with them. But if it gets restricted off, Amazon have nothing that I want, really, because the only other thing would be video games, consoles and stuff, but I don't know whether they'll still be available at that time anyway. So, for me personally, Amazon is kind of like a, you know, kind of like a business model that's starting to fall off for me. And that's exactly what Amazon want. They want to retain these big dog sellers. These guys who are doing... I mean, some of them are even on YouTube. You know, these guys who are turning over 500 grand, $1 million, $2 million a year. or maybe even more than that, maybe 10 million, 20 million, 50 million, I don't know, but they want to retain people that are the big dogs. They don't want these little fish, you know, messing up their pond kind of thing. They want the big dogs in there. It's kind of like when you get a pond outside. Would you want to put little goldfish in there? No, you wouldn't. You'd want big ass koi carp with really nice markings on. You see what I mean? It's kind of like that. You know, I love making analogies. They're so fun. But yeah, so I don't know. I probably won't be selling on there. That obviously means that I need to transition more to eBay. And, you know, this is what I've been... It's funny because I always make the right decisions at the right times. But sometimes external factors come in that just annoy me because I'm like I transitioned into crypto and investing into crypto because I saw Amazon was falling off. So I thought if I can get to the point in 12 or 18 months when Amazon's restricting everything off, where I'm replacing the income in passive income from crypto, basically I've just like gamed the system, because not only have I replaced my Amazon income with something else, but I've replaced it with passive income, like pure passive income. But then the 2018 bear market just destroyed my plans of crypto, so now I have to kind of just hold on to Amazon for another 12 months or so until crypto can get back up there, and I'll be earning tons in passive income in crypto when the bull market comes around, because I've accumulated so much through the bear market. So I'm always trying to think a few steps ahead. I'm not like bloody these guys like Gary Vee or whoever it is, Tony Robbins or anything. They're about 10 steps ahead. You know, I don't profess or confess or whatever the word is to be in anything like that, but I always like to be one step ahead, so then I can kind of, I feel like, right, I've cemented myself. I know where I am. I've got the income. That's how you have to be when you're self-employed. It's crap. I will tell you right now, it's crap, because eBay could throw you off right now. Even though it's your livelihood, they don't care about that. They don't care about the fact it's your livelihood. So I've recognised that. And, about a year ago, and I realised to myself, look, I need to get a few different things on the go, and I need to try and build some passive income to alleviate the pressure when I get a house and when I get kids and stuff, because I can't rely on any one thing, any one person, any one business or anything to provide me with an income, So it's just that it's trying to get into that frame of mind and do different things. So yeah. But yeah, so I can't really see it. I think Amazon's got a shelf life for smaller sellers. I don't know how long that is. I've been saying it for the last 18 months, so you never know. The shelf life might be another 5 years off. We don't know. Considering it's been 18 months already and I'm not off there, I'm still selling on there, I think I'm probably safe for the next 12 months. But next Q4, November, December, whether I'm selling my Lego on there, I really don't know. I don't know. I'd love to think I am, but I really haven't a clue. So yeah, you've got to put precautions in for that. I got 10 Litecoins off my Bitcoin mining. Litecoin could go up 6 times, Bitcoin only 3 times. We shall see. Well, Litecoin's a decent bet, I would say. The thing is, when you've got Litecoin, when you're holding anything in a bear market, I won't go into crypto loads because I'll literally spend 2 or 3 minutes on this, because you're not going to get me to not spend any time talking about this, but I'm going to try and limit myself as much as I can. But the thing in a bear market, when you've got, it applies to anything, whether you've got a stock, or whether you've got, a stock or share, or whether you've got a cryptocurrency, or whether you've got, you've bought a property. In a bear market, for example, you want something that's going to produce for you. You want something that is, throughout the bear market, even if it's going to be just a tiny amount of something else, it's producing that extra income, and your capital, your kind of initial investment, stays put, so it's producing a bit of an income. So that's what I've kind of adopted. So that's why back in January, when Bitcoin was about like 12k, 11k, I switched over all my cryptocurrency to a cryptocurrency called Steam, which now gives me a passive income. I literally get like £1 a day passive income at this point. In the bull market, I'll be getting like 40-50 quid a day, because we are so low right now, it's insane. And obviously when we multiply that out, I'm going to be, sitting pretty in the bull market. But Essentially, I've opted for that option because I can at least get something back, you know, 30 quid a month back in my pocket that I can either reinvest into Steam or another cryptocurrency throughout the bear market, or that I can take something out, you know, just like a tiny little piece out. But yeah, so I don't tend to hold any cryptocurrencies that are you know, proof of work opposed to proof of stake in a bear market. But in a bull market, I will hold them because there's loads of potential. I mean, there is still potential for holding them now. However, you're going to have to wait a while for the bear market to actually come to fruition and get back into that bull market. Therefore, you may as well just hold the proof of stake coins until right at the bottom of the bear market. Now, it's very hard to predict when that's going to be, but hold them as long as you can, then buy your proof of work coins, you know, Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum's moving over to proof of stake, but you get what I mean, and then ride the shockwave all the way up to that all-time high. When that first little dip comes, sell on that dip, get out of crypto, and then just wait till the bear market goes right to the bottom, put your money back in, maybe take a little bit of profit out for yourself, and then you've accumulated an even bigger bag, and then you ride the shockwave back up over into the bear market. And all this, I mean, by this point of riding bull and bear market for, I mean, you're looking at 2030. This is like, you know, time scale wise, this is like 2030, 2035. But by that time, I mean, if you put in 10k at the right moment right now, in 15 years in crypto, you could have well over $1 million. Like, well over $1 million. If you play the game right, you could have $1 million, $2 million, something like that. But it takes time, you know, it's not... Everyone thinks crypto is get rich quick. It's not, for God's sake. It's like crypto is where reselling was, directing it back to reselling. Crypto is like where reselling was 5 or 6 years ago with Amazon FBA, with everyone thinking it's get rich quick. The same's happening for crypto. So in 5 or 6 years, everyone's going to be normalised to crypto more. There's more people going to be using it, and therefore it won't be labelled as such a get-rich-quick sort of scam or scheme like reselling was 5 or 6 years ago. It's all about this kind of perspective. But yeah, anyway, I'll leave it there. So, we've got Indie, did I say Indie Chick? Yeah, Indie Chick's in, Crispy's in. Oh, Crispy, oh my god, those Furbies from the auction. God damn it, you paid a lot of money for those Furbies. Jesus, that's incredible. Is it just me that stopped listening? Don't worry, I've stopped the Bitcoin talk now. I'm not even gonna satisfy that with an answer. Otherwise, I'll be back into Bitcoin again. Does Bitcoin have a dividend? No, but Steam does, and there's other cryptocurrencies that have dividends as well. But they're not called dividends, they're called... What are they called? Well, they're just called proof of stake coins, so... you could call them staking earnings, and it is the same as a dividend, but we don't like to... not a lot of people say dividend in crypto. Well, some people do, on the, Ethereum games and stuff, but... It's not really... Dividend is like an old-timey word for stocks and stuff. I like to say proof of stake, you know? Anyway, so that's 8 to 10 minutes. Yeah, I know, yeah, bloody hell. You know, if you had put £100 into Bitcoin 10 years ago, you'd be a very rich man, even at, yeah, 6k, but probably won't be a coin like that coming up anytime soon anyway. Wow, the chat's moving fast. Has anyone got any questions? I've just scrolled up, but I can't see any questions. No, can't see any questions. Ads is my idol. Stay away from Bitcoin. Oh, for God's sake. All these people stay away from it. It's fine. It's fine. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I would not like to live in a world without cryptocurrency or what it can do for us. I really wouldn't. It's just so good. Aside from the money, yes, of course, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I don't do Bitcoin for money. Of course I do cryptocurrency for money. I'm a bloody investor. But at the same time, I can see the technology and I can see what it's trying to do for the world and how it's trying to bring us forward into a better economy and a smarter economy at that. But I'm just going to leave it at that anyway. Because we've all heard this before. I've ranted about this forever. Question, how has eBay sales been? A little bit better more recently. My, what do you call it? My 30-day average has gone up by like 20 or 30%, so I was so happy because, oh my god, it's just been horrendous. You know, I've said to you guys, like, I don't know whether it was last week or week before or whatever, but it's been horrendous for me. It's been the summer's really taken its toll on me in terms of, you know, like turnover and profit wise. I was getting to a, as I mentioned, you know, almost that critical level, and then I was like, oh God, something's got to pick up. And then it's finally picked up. What does concern me is that you should always judge your business on its worst months, not its best months. Now, if I'm judging my business on its worst months this year, then I'm not that happy, which isn't very good, not a good position to be in. So, I mean, some of that has been through me lacking in drive and direction. Some of that has been, I mean, that all comes from personal things that have been going on with me, you know, with regards to my anxiety and counselling and all the rest of it, where I won't bore you with too much. So that's not that, all that's been going on the side has given me a very huge sense of misdirection. I know that these things like counselling are meant to give you more direction, but for me it just didn't give me that. It gave me a lot of misdirection. I didn't know what I wanted or where I wanted to go, and then that made me less motivated with my business, and that's why it suffered more this, you know, throughout the summer. It wasn't necessarily that, you know, it was suffering and I was doing work. It was suffering because I wasn't doing as much work as I should have been, and so therefore there is obviously a positive outcome from that. And that is obviously the fact that if I work, I can get the numbers back to where we want to be anyway. So that's not too bad. You know, I can kind of forgive that, and I can kind of see where, you know, why that's happened. You know, why those numbers were the way they were, and now why they're creeping back up, because I've been doing a bit more work recently. So yeah, it's been pretty poor, but it's coming back to where I need it to be. As I say, I'm about 20-30% up on eBay. I've just this morning, and probably a lot of you saw yesterday, the video that I published at 7 o'clock about obviously my Lego. I'm sorting all that out for Amazon. Honestly, there's probably more value there in terms of sales turnover than I actually thought. Honestly, there's quite a lot. Like, I just listed 50 items, and they came out in turnover. Bear in mind, this is turnover. Probably my profit on this is probably about 30% margin, because, as I say, it's RA. It's not brilliant. Maybe 30 or 40%, something like that. So my sales turnover from just 50 items, which is about 1/5 of the overall amount of Lego I've got, maybe a quarter of the overall amount of Lego I've got, because I do have quite a lot of it, and basically that came out at £1,641. So we times that by 4, I've got just over £6 worth of Lego sales turnover for Q4, and I've got my board games, don't forget, and I've got my video games, and I've got the stock, the little pathetic amount of stock I've got up there, and I've got my eBay store as well, so I've got other things going on. So yeah, essentially, I'm pretty happy with that, because if I've got, you know, £6 sales turnover, you know, 33% of that, it's like 2.5k, something like that. It was just over £6 turnover it would be, so it's about 6,400 or something. So then, you know, that's like 2.5k or something profit after all said and done, Amazon fees and cost of purchase. Obviously, cost of purchase is a big one for the Lego. With RA and Lego investing, obviously you're paying quite a lot. So I'm really happy with that. You know, I'm quite happy with that. That's decent. As I say, adding everything else on and selling all the rest of the stuff on my eBay and stuff, I should be looking okay. I don't know, but I'm really scared, because I don't. Well, I say scared. I'll be completely honest with you, right? And I'm being completely genuine here. I'm scared that I'm not going to do the same amount as last year, because and I don't want to tell you guys that, because it then will make me feel inferior in some way, because I've not done as much as I did last year. And then you guys, I always think, like, what are people going to think? Oh my god, I've only done 5k turnover in December. What are people going to think? You know, even though it would be enough for me, I'm still attached to that psyche of, oh, what are other people going to think? You know, so I'm being quite genuine that is a fear for me, and it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. I should trust my own judgment. What I do in turnover, if it's in, and profit, of course, if it's enough for me, October through December, then I'm happy, you know, and that's fair enough. But I really don't know whether I've got the same level of stock to do the same amount in turnover or profit. Now, the other thing that encourages me actually is my cost of stock over the last couple of months has been decreasing. Not by much, maybe by 200, something like that, about £200. Normally I'd spend about £1,000 a month on stock. Now it's way down, like, you know, over the last couple of months it's been slowly going down a bit, maybe 100 or 200 a month, as I mentioned. And it's probably about 500-600 now, and that is massively impacting my net profit in a positive way. So actually what I might do this year is I might do less turnover, but I might actually end up with more profit, depending on how much I choose to reinvest in December or January, you know, out of that profit. So, because obviously when I factor that in, cost of goods, obviously in, what's it called, cash basis accounting is a cost, so therefore that gets taken off your profit. But essentially, yeah, I think I should do pretty well, maybe not in turnover, but in profit. And what I found is it definitely is going down this antiques route, going down the auction house route, because ever since I've got my lockup and I've been doing the auctions, I've found that my cost of stock has been coming down and coming down and coming down, you know, and it made me think, actually, I did less turnover last month than I've done in quite a few months. Like, I didn't have a great month last month. I did about 2,500, something like that. That's not accounting my YouTube, that's not accounting other areas, that's not accounting crypto. I add all that on at the end of the year. It just saves messing about with printing loads of different documents off every month. But my monthly turnover last month was like 2,500, but then my profit was way up. So it's, you know, it's kind of one of those things that actually it doesn't matter, you know. I'm getting closer, I'm slowly getting closer to that 50% margin, 45-50% net profit margin that most people are actually on. Whereas I previously was doing more turnover, but that I was on a sort of lower net profit percentage of maybe 35%, something like that. So now that is actually encouraging in one way. But yeah, so there's good points and bad points, but it all depends, you know. Anyway, it all depends on how much I'm spending on stock, how much, you know, how much motivation I have and what time I put in, and then what sort of amount I'm, well, I already said that, what sort of amount I'm reinvesting and stuff. So, yeah, anyway, I will go, oh my god, there's a lot of spammers or something in there. Right, I'm way down in the chat. Ads, I'm only staying away because I'm a forex trader. No Bitcoin in my house. Well, fair enough. I tried the whole stocks and shares, and I know forex trading is a bit different than that. Is that like trading on leverage or on margin or something? Is that what that is? I'm not sure, but or maybe they're completely different things. But I've tried. I went with IG. I've got the app on my phone. I still hold like one Facebook share or something, I don't know, but I still hold like one share, but I couldn't get into it. When I was looking at the web trader on IG, it just wasn't for me. Whereas when I went on Coinbase and I was like, oh, you can buy this coin, and then I was like, oh right, and then and then I download a wallet on my computer, and then I hold it, and you can see the value go up and down. It just felt more me. I'm not trying to say that to belittle anyone who does stocks or shares or anything. If that's what you want to do, if that's completely you, that's brilliant, because it's all about exploring what we want to do, what excites us the most. But with stocks and shares, I just got a bit overwhelmed with the web traders, and I was like, oh well, the problem was with stocks and shares, I didn't know the market, and I didn't have the desire to want to get to know the market. But when I found crypto, it was very exciting, very new. I realised that I could hold my assets on my own computer, which is perfect for me because I like to be in control of everything. I don't even like to go out for a third party a lot of the time. Now, obviously, some wallets are third parties, so you could say that's somewhat contradictory in itself. But obviously, you can also download wallets from the you know, the actual coin itself, you know. So you could, for example, if you wanted to buy Bean Cash, you could download the wallet from their site, or I hold a coin called Affiliate, you can download the wallet from their site. So it is still kind of from a third party, but it's a little bit more trustworthy because they are the ones who've created the coin in the first place. Yeah, so anyway, essentially I liked that, and then I got to know the market, and now I know the crypto market. I could call when, like, I'm to the point now where I can call when there's going to be a crash. I can call, not exactly, no one can call exactly, but you know, if something's getting overextended on the charts, I can think, right, this is going to come down soon. Or, you know, there's a mainnet launch coming up of a token. So, you know, there's going to be a nice little run up. You know, you buy the rumor and then you sell the news. So there's going to be a crash after the event. So what you do is you buy in here, and then what you do, ride it up, and then just before the mainnet launch or whatever it is, you then sell, and then it goes back down maybe by 5-10% in a matter of 3 or 4 days, because crypto is quite quick. Then after 3 or 4 days, you buy back in and you accumulate a larger position, you see. So, you know, I know the market more, I like the market more, I feel like it's me, you know, and a lot of people will feel like that for stocks and shares, or for the property market. They feel like it's them, you know, they know the market, they're not in control of the market, but they can control what they do with their money, and they understand that how to make a profit in the certain conditions of that market. So yeah. Anyway, I'm really I'm just so happy because I'm 22 right now, and I've got so much time to make mistakes. Like, all the stuff I say could be completely wrong, but that means that by the time I'm 50 and I've got 28 years more experience of being in these markets, I will be so on it. Like, I'll just be so on it, you know? So it's very interesting because I feel like I've got a good grasp of the market now after like 18 months, well, not even 18 months of being in crypto. And it's like, in 28 years, my God, I'm going to be awesome with it. But in 28 years, crypto will be a lot more, it'll be a lot more settled. It won't be like 10% run up in a day or 20% run up in a day or anything like that. Because there'll be more, basically more money in the market and more liquidity. So therefore the volatility will go down. How have your eBay sales been? I already answered that. Ads, I'm only saying, I've already answered that. Question, do you miss your cabinet? I don't miss my cabinet. I've said for a while I'd like a shop and everything. I don't know whether I would completely like a shop. Like, the funny thing is, with your dreams, with the things you long for, the things you want, when you actually get your dreams, sometimes, in some circumstances, you forget that you are already there, that you've already achieved your dream. So what do I mean by this? I mean the fact that I've already achieved my dream. I've always said to myself, I'd love a shop, and I always envisaged this little shop that I had, right? And it'd be full of antiques or full of sweets or whatever, because I either wanted a joke shop, a sweet shop, or an antique shop. And then obviously my plans grew, and I've mentioned to you guys, oh, well, what I could do is I could, combine the sweet shop and the antique shop and put the joke shop in there, and then maybe have a little bit of an animal kingdom on there as well. And it grows and it amalgamates into this big, weird mess of something that isn't actually quite what you want anymore. It isn't what you started out wanting. Right, you wanted that little shop, right, selling antiques, selling sweets, whatever. But because it's so exciting and you get caught up and you want all, and you see all this and you think, oh yeah, well, I could have this and this and this, and then it becomes overwhelming, and then you think, well, you feel overwhelmed by the prospect of how big your dream has been created in your mind, and you don't want to do it necessarily to that extent anymore. So then what I realised was, I was looking, at my eBay store and stuff, and I was looking at my stock. And when you go into my stock room, it's very much, well, I say it's like a shop. It's not like a shop, but you guys know what I mean. Everything's on shelves. Now, might not be the best, most well-organised or anything, but everything's on shelves. It all goes round. There's different sections. I've got like a tin section, a ceramic section, a toys section, board game section, etc. So I was looking around, I was looking at that in my storeroom, and I was looking at my store on eBay and filtering through all my items and thinking, God, I've got like over 1,000 items on eBay, and you know, I've got this store, and then I was thinking, then it hit me, you see. Hang on a minute. Don't you realise what's happened? Don't you realise what's happened? You've got the dream you wanted to get, but you're so caught up on trying to get to the next damn thing because you can't ever stop and smell the roses that you've completely ignored the fact that you're already here. You don't need to go this further distance. You can do if you want to, but you've got to always realise that you are now here. Whatever extent you take it further is just a further version of the fact that you've already made it. You're already here. I'm doing what I want to do. I'm making money from my bedroom. I'm making money selling on eBay, online. I'm making money online, which is what I've always wanted to do. So it's quite funny, actually, in that respect, that, you know, I don't miss my cabinet, and I'm starting to let go of the idea that I need a shop, or it's something that I really need to do. I don't need to do it. If I want to do it, and I have the drive to take it that far, and I maybe even turn it into some magnificent emporium, which would be fun, don't get me wrong, it'd be fun, it'd be stressful at the same time, because, you know, there's a lot going on, you have employees and the rest of it, but if it's something I really can commit to and I want to do, then I'll do it, you know, but I don't need to pressure myself with saying, you've got to do this or you've not made it. You've got to get to this level or you've not made it. And it's the same as people saying, oh, I've got to earn 50... Everyone has a number, right? Or a lot of people have a number of how much they want to earn a year. They're like kind of dream number. Now, I've always mentioned to you guys that my number is £50,000 a year. Now, not dollars, not whatever else currency. 50,000 Great British pounds a year, right? That's my number, right? Now, that in itself is somewhat destructive, because then you're constantly trying to get to that number and you're not seeing the progress that's being made up to that number, and all these mistakes and all this knowledge and all this journey that's happening right in front of your eyes to get to that number. When you get to that number, yeah, you might be quite happy for a few days or a few weeks or whatever. You're like, oh yeah, I'm here now, I've arrived. But then what's going to happen is you're going to want to strive for 100,000 or 200,000 or 500,000, because it never stops. So you've got to think to yourself, you've got to ground yourself and think, well, look, I know where I am now, I'm comfortable with where I am now, and throughout my life, I'm going to just take it as this is the journey, and, you know, I'll get to where I get to, you know, and if I get to that number, brilliant. If I don't, but I can mix that with family time and enjoying being around people and having a social life and doing things for myself, because I'm a selfish person. I like to do things for myself, and all that sort of stuff, then that's brilliant. I don't need to get to the 50,000 because I'm comfortable, I'm happy, I've got friends and family, I'm doing things for myself, etc. So yeah, anyway, that's just the way I look at it. I really needed to get that out. Yeah, I don't know whether that kind of came across. I just needed to get that. It's like, oh, I need to get that out, you know, but anyway, right then, is there another song in the works? I have thought about doing it. I did say that a couple of weeks back. I have thought about doing a song. I'll see what comes up. I did say to you, maybe not to you, Corey, but someone else who asked it. I am thinking of doing the comedy shorts beforehand, but then again, I just don't seem to have the drive, motivation, or the time to get them done at the moment. I'd really like to get them done, but obviously something's blocking me in actually doing them. Maybe I need, I don't know what I need to get my motivation to do them, but I will try and get to do them at some point, because I do want to do them. But anyway, ads ignores me these days. I've read out like 2 of your questions today, Ryan. For God's sake, I'm always reading out your questions. It's 'cause you're too bold, Ryan. It's not. He's fine. He's alright. I just won't answer his question if he's too bold. Add your thoughts on the new Doctor Who being a woman. Thank you very much. I would love to express my thoughts for 5 minutes on Doctor Who. If you want to tune off now for 5 minutes and then come back on, feel free. Right. Brilliant. I love it. The new composer, brilliant. I forgot his name. It's quite a cool name though, the new composer. Brilliant music, I absolutely love it. The end theme is absolutely brilliant. It mixes classic Who, the theme tune of classic Who, or the kind of the things that run through the theme, you know, from 63 to 89. It mixes that with some modern Who. Brilliant. The end title sequence, obviously we didn't get a starting title sequence. I think this is the starting title sequence will be at the start of this Sunday's episode even. I have to get used to saying Sunday and not Saturday. But yeah, that was brilliant. It was like a kaleidoscope, very reminiscent of, it was kind of like a little bit of Hartnell mixed in with a little bit of Pertwee. That kind of little, it's kind of that sort of esque. Anyway, it's got that feel to it. So really loved that. I'm not really too taken on the companions yet. I think I'll grow into them a little bit. And I like Bradley Walsh. I don't know why, but I really didn't like him in the first scene. But then I got into him, you know, like I got into his character and I thought, yeah, actually, I can get behind this character. Ryan seems like quite a cool character. We've not really seen that much of Yaz. So Yaz is where it just, you know, she's alright. Of what we've seen of her, she's alright. But I just feel like she needs maybe a little bit more fleshing out, a little bit more story behind her, or a little bit of, you know, a little bit more airtime maybe in the next episode. And then we can start to like her a bit more. But it's like in Series 10, like, I didn't quite get, I don't know whether it was Bill that I couldn't quite, no, to be honest, I got behind Bill pretty quickly, but one of the companions, I forgot which one it was, maybe it was 5 years ago or so now, but one of the companions I didn't quite get behind straight away, and I think that's kind of like Yaz, you know, just not quite there. Jodie is the Doctor. Now, I'm going to be quite honest, and this is not me being bloody sexist, right? And I want to put that, it's not me being sexist. Right, so she falls through the roof of the train, which for one, how the hell could a Time Lord survive that? Now, I'm going with my own headcanon of, I don't know whether some of you who watch Doctor Who regularly will remember Let's Kill Hitler, when Withersong was regenerating, or, you know, sort of mid-regeneration, when she was just sort of healing, recovering, a bunch of German soldiers shot her, and then she basically exploded with regeneration energy, and then basically healed herself, right? Now, my own personal headcanon, now this has no bearing on the show whatsoever, but I believe that maybe women, like female Time Lords, regenerate differently, and that they can, basically the Doctor says in The End of Time, if you shoot me while I'm still regenerating, that's me dead. So a male Time Lord who is regenerating, if he gets shot while he's regenerating, he is dead. He can't survive that. But what if a female Time Lord's regeneration is different and they can withstand more? I don't know why I'm thinking this, but it just, well, I'm thinking it because of the two examples I explained, but it's just to get my own headcanon round how the hell she fell 5 miles from the sky, went through a bloody metal train, and then just got up like normal. Anyway, so I'm attributing it to that a female's regeneration, they can heal themselves like easier or something. I don't know, but that's just my own personal headcanon to get around that, what I would class as a huge hole in the episode, because you know, it needed to be addressed. A little throwaway line from Jodie when she got up, like, oh, thank God I was regenerating or something, or else I would have died. You know, just a I know that's not a very good line, but just a throwaway line like that would have settled me down, calmed me down, and made me flow into the episode more. Now, at the start, when she got up, I had a little smirk because obviously, when she got up, the new kind of Doctor Who music started, and that Doctor Who music was perfect, that theme was perfect for that moment, at least I thought, and it made me think, yes, this person does have the definitely the potential to be an amazing Doctor. And then she started speaking, and at first I wasn't too taken by the choice of words, and this is just based on the writers. Jodie's performance was excellent, but the choice of words of the writers that they used were a little bit off for me. But then I realised that if you go back to Robot, the episode Robot in 1974, Tom Baker's first episode, Tom Baker was a little bit off because obviously the Time Lord who oversaw his regeneration, or started off his regeneration, the like Tibetan monk guy who's actually a Time Lord, he said the brain cells are going to get messed up a little bit. So I can ignore the fact that Jodie was being a little bit, or you know, the writers had wrote in, you know, silly lines and stuff. Now, I ignored that and I thought, actually, that is quite doctory. I thought it wasn't quite doctory, but it is quite doctory. So then I thought, actually, that's okay, I'm happy with that. Then as the episode progressed and she was starting to put things together, starting to build a sonic screwdriver, starting to, you know, talk a little bit more and, you know, build stuff and really act like the Doctor, I was thinking, yeah, this girl is the Doctor, you know, this girl is the Doctor anyway. So then she does the final bit at the end. The final bit at the end was brilliant. The way they shot it, the direction, everything. Now, on the whole, the actual, you know, the production quality of this episode was incredible. It really was. I'm not going to doubt that at all. It was incredible. But essentially, she had that bit at the end where obviously she was saying, oh, I put the DNA bombs on you, and I believe that she did that. I know it wasn't really touched on too much, but she had the phone in her hand, and then like this little beam of light came out and hit her on the shoulder, and she went back. Now, it wasn't touched on in that moment because obviously we wanted the big reveal to be at the end, but I think that that's how she got the DNA bombs off the others as well, using that phone device that was also doubled as a tracker. Anyway, so she then confronts Tim Shah, or whatever his name is, Sim Shah of the, oh, I forgot what the alien race is, I'm going to have to rewatch the episode anyway, but she then confronts him and says, oh, I put the DNA bombs on you, when he had just clicked it, he'd clicked the button for the DNA bombs, thinking that he would blow up the others, but actually he blew up himself, so it was well, not self-sacrifice, but you know what I mean, like he had willingly committed himself to death. Then that guy kicked him off and he went down, and then he had the you know, the transmat beam or whatever it was. It was a reversal circuit or a return journey circuit or whatever it was. Put that on and went back to his home planet to die. Yeah, brilliant. The plot was quite simple, to be honest. It was quite easy to understand, but that's what you need for a first episode so you don't alienate any new fans. Yeah, quite happy. I can get behind it. I think it's pretty cool. The train issue, the falling through the train issue is a continuity issue for me. But yeah, everything else I'm happy with. Anyway, let's get on. Let's not ramble about Doctor Who anymore. You can see I'm a bit of a fan. Yeah, maybe a bit too much of a fan. I've watched thousands of hours of Doctor Who to get the knowledge that I have, and I'm not even close to where I want to be, but it's okay. I've learnt to accept that I'll get there in the end. Ads, would you like to? Would you do merchant from home if you stopped FBA? You know what? I wouldn't. I'd just do it on eBay. I know I could probably still get a little bit of a higher price for merchant. You know, merchant filled rather than on eBay. I'd just do eBay. I just stick it on eBay and take the slightly less amount of money. So yeah. Corey says, do you meditate or have a habit for relaxation ads? I started meditating about a month ago or anything. I don't really meditate in the way that everyone else meditates. I meditate while I'm walking, so I just try and get into a state of just being with my surroundings, not necessarily trying to force my mind to think of anything or anything like that. I just try and be with my surroundings and look around and walk around. I suppose you could say it's more mindfulness than meditation, but I do that. I have tried the whole sitting down and meditating, but what I'll find is I'll try and go inside my mind, and then I'll try and make some sort of like trance-like state in my mind of looking at different things, and that's not meditation, that's just being in a trance. So yeah, I kind of don't do that as much anymore, but I want to try and do that again, because obviously getting through that trance-like state and actually get into a state of more harmonious, just sort of nothingness, that's proper true meditation. So I kind of want to get to that point, so I might try the sort of sat down meditation. I always do it while I'm outside though. Anything like that I like doing outside, because it surrounds, you know, your environment, surrounds you with your environment, and it makes you feel a lot more at home and a lot more contented in that environment as well, and looking around and all the rest of it. And it's because in one way we are a huge part of nature, you know, so it's natural to think that, you know, that would help you out. So, yeah, anyway, I do, but I've only just really started the last few weeks. Never worry about what other people think. Mostly they are thinking about themselves anyway. Yeah, I know, but I always think, and the reason I think this is because I sometimes do it with other people. So, sometimes if someone's not like, if someone's either not reached a target they've not reached, or someone's massively over exceeded the target, sometimes I will think, whether it's done subconsciously or whether it's done consciously, I really don't know actually, but I sometimes think, oh, haven't they done really well, or oh, they didn't reach their target, you know? And then because I think like that, it makes me understand that, well, if everyone has that same kind of thing in them, you know, because we're all human, they're going to think like that as well, and then they're going to whisper between friends and stuff, and it's going to, you see what I mean, it's all in my own head in one respect. Well, it is all in my own head, you know, but, so yeah, anyway, that's kind of why why I kind of do that. I need to get back to meditation. Yeah, it's really nice, it's quite nice. My God, there's a lot of, things going on in here. A lot of, like, spanners needed and stuff. What would you say is your favourite Doctor Who in the Doctor Who series? There's actually 4 favourite episodes ever. That's it. 4. So we've got... Oh, no, well... Right, okay. There's 4 that I have for now. I might change these at a later date. But we've got, from Modern Who, we've got... The Waters of Mars and Heaven Sent. They're the best. I don't care what anyone says. They are the best 2 in Modern Who. And if you haven't watched Heaven Sent and you haven't watched that sequence of him breaking the wall, holy crap, that will make you understand, like, the how cool the Doctor is, like, to do that, like, to just keep going around an endless cycle, dying, like burning himself to create a new self just so that then he can survive the experience he's going through. And he did that for 4.5 billion years. I mean, blooming hell. That's crazy. Like, the level of persistence, the level of will. I mean, it's just crazy. But that, and then Waters of Mars. I know a lot of people don't like the Waters of Mars because, well, not a lot of people, but a few people kind of say that it's a bit more like just a take on zombies. But I really like Waters of Mars. It's a brilliant episode. So, yeah. And then from Classic Who, I like one that's maybe not... I think one that's underrated because I don't hear many people talk about it. But when people do talk about it, they always do say how good it is. So the one that I'm talking about is the one with... oh, what's his name? John Challis makes an appearance in this one, from Only Fools and Horses. And it's called The Seeds of Doom, not to be confused with The Seeds of Death, which is a 2nd Doctor story. Seeds of Doom is a 4th Doctor story. In my favourite ever series of Doctor Who, which is season 13, you got things like Brain of Morbius, Seeds of Doom, what's it called? The Planet of Evil. I think Terror of the Zygons is in there as well. Brilliant, brilliant series. We have the tail end of, obviously... what's his name? Harry Sullivan in there. And then we have Sarah Jane Smith with Tom Baker as well. But yeah, brilliant. So that's one of them. And then the other one is a 3rd Doctor story, the end of his 1st series in 1970, which is called Inferno. It's a 7-part series, and it is absolutely... 7-part serial, I should say. And it's absolutely brilliant. If you haven't watched that, they're the 4 episodes of Doctor Who that if you've not watched Doctor Who, or if you're not really a fan, just watch those episodes. There might not be... I mean, I suppose you need other episodes to get some more context of the Doctor, but they're the 4 that are like the most brilliant, and if you watch them, you're going to be in for a real treat of some amazing Doctor Who, so, yeah. No prizes, just a round of applause. Why? What's going on? Oh, Nick's in the chat. What's going on, though? Who was the lead singer of the 90s indie band Sleeper? I haven't a clue on that one. I've never heard of that band. I'm in a generation slightly behind these questions, Nick. Why is it? What's he doing? Just putting random questions in the chat. Oh God. Racist reseller caught wielding sonic screwdriver. I don't even know what that means. Right. Anyway, I will be going in a minute because we're just getting up to the hour now. So I'll just quickly. I'm sorry. There's so much chat that I literally can't go through. go through it all, so I apologise. Are we back to Doctor Who? Well, just for a second. Oh my god, there's so much chat. How many have we got in? 42, yeah, it's about right. But I've never had this much chat in a while. My god, seriously, more Doctor. I know, but it's a good show. You got to admit, it's a good show. Do you guys think Ads is the real Doctor? No, but I would love. That is another point of my another thing in my life that I'd love to do. I'd love to play the Doctor. But I couldn't do it because I would actually want to I'd play the Doctor in a rainbow suit, and obviously we've already had Colin Baker in the rainbow suit, and most fans don't particularly like the whole rainbow suit thing. So the production team I would be under, or a costume designer or whatever, they wouldn't be having any of that, so I couldn't do it. Or I could dress. The other alternative is I'd have my outfit that I have for Bads, and I'd use it for the Doctor, because I think that outfit it pretty much sums up like a dark Doctor. So I'd have that, black sort of waistcoat. You'd have the long sort of coat. Maybe not the shades. I've probably scrapped the shades, but something like that. Or maybe just customize it a little bit. Instead of maybe a black waistcoat, maybe I don't know, maybe sort of a navy one, or maybe a kind of burgundy one or something, just to give it a little bit of colour so it's not completely dark. But yeah, something like that anyway. But, I mean, I'd have to get into acting to do that, and then I'd have to go through loads of, going for shows that I don't want to even be in, because all I'd be thinking about is Doctor Who. I'd be like, I'm only doing this to get to Doctor Who, so I don't want to do this because I just want to be Doctor Who. So I don't think I'd put the same effort into a lot of the other shows. Like, I'd be one of those guys who I would do Doctor Who. I would play Doctor Who for far longer than you should. So in Doctor Who, there's a rule called the Troughton Rule, and it says that basically Patrick Troughton came up with it, that you shouldn't do more than 3 years or more than 3 series. And essentially, after that, you're going to be in the realm of getting typecast as the Doctor, and also your performance is going to start to flounder a little bit, like it kind of did at the end of Tom Baker's run, or, sort of 75% of the way through. He wasn't getting on with the production team, he wasn't getting on with a few of the higher up people, and that kind of came out in his performance. But I would be one of those Doctors who would just smash it. I would just be like, right, 10 years. I'm doing this for 10 years, and then I'm leaving acting forever. I'll go back to reselling. I don't care about the money. You don't pay me anything. Just don't pay me anything. I'll do this for free. This is my dream job. And then I'd just be like, I'd be like, I'd be so happy, and I'd be so elated around everyone, the production team and everyone. I'd be like this holy version of myself that I want to be, I'd love to be the Doctor, but I just don't want to put the work, and this is the issue. If you don't want to put the work in up front in doing all these little shows and, going for all these auditions and getting rejected, then you're never going to get to be the Doctor. So if I don't want to do that groundwork, I'm never going to get there. So, I'm probably never going to get there and do it, but we'll see. I don't know. You should never say never. Actually, you should never say never, but, right, anyway, I'll leave it there. I apologise, we've got so much chat, and I just literally can't go through it all. There's just so much of it. There's literally, so much of it. Seems like when Nick jumped in, everyone just, kind of started chatting or something. I don't know, but I think it's because of the questions or something. Yeah, I don't really see any other questions, actually. Anyway, it's just kind of random chat. Yeah, it looks like random chat, so I don't think there is any more questions. So I will leave it there then, guys. Thank you very much for joining me, as always. If you have any more questions, queries, or anything like that, then please do drop them in the comments down below after this video. If you have any more questions for next week, if you want me to start with any questions for next week, pop them also down below in the comments, or you can obviously visit me on Instagram and send me a direct message through there, and I will make sure that I obviously include your question in next week's episode. Other than that, that is my ramblings of Doctor Who, cryptocurrency, Amazon FBA, restrictions, eBay sales or lack thereof over the summer, all that sort of stuff. That is me done. So I will see you very soon, guys. Thank you once again for joining me.